Welcome to Unmuzzled Chat. Folks, I hope you're having a terrific Monday out there. I am so excited, and I feel truly blessed to be here with you this glorious day. I'm still fighting some type of bug. I pray it doesn't hold me back so I can show up and do all of you justice. I care about you and love you so much. And it's time to rip the lid off of things, folks. We live in such a blessed time. I'm so grateful that this dam has burst and the flood is just, evil can't contain it. And with what we're exposing to here, right here in this episode today, we're just honing in on more of the smoking gun. I truly feel the pandemic to be such a blessing. Now it's horrific because it's literally worse than the Holocaust. Not to even be doing comparisons because any loss of life is just horrific. But the scale as to what took place and what they did upon the people of the world today. But we have a choice. And there's great opportunity with this choice. And I just hope more gets on board because sweeping it under the rug truly is not an option. This truly exposes evil, an infrastructure, a two-tier system, a ruling class, secret societies that would have us dead, that would have us sick, that would have us dependent, would have us controlled and compliant and sucking at the teat. Let's not accept that fate. The reality of this opportunity, if we choose not to do anything, tyranny never ends. They will continue to pursue us. They will continue, whether through other pandemics or other climate hoaxes, other mind control, other biological warfare, other tactics that will diminish our resilience with more poisons, maybe more effective ones in the foods and the poison in the food and the water and the air and the pharmaceuticals and other products, aerosols. I mean, it's endless. But a lot of folks I get haven't connected those dots. It seems far too, big grandeur to grasp. That's why we got to hone in on the smoking gun. And with honing in and what we're going to expose on this heavy hitting, this very episode, then it becomes very easy for folks to let their guard down and be like, you know what? Wow, I am going to start questioning other things because this very infrastructure that has been established and built up over many decades, and it dates back hundreds of years with few select individuals and families behind, we've intentionally been corralled up. I just missed the point. I don't even know if I brought it full circle, but all this being said, before we dive in, I just want us to have a thought experiment for a second. What happened with all of us regarding, the kangaroo court after Trump's sentencing? What happened? Nothing happened. Where were all the riots, the looting, the tearing down statues and police precincts, all that shenanigans? Where was it? I mean, after all, isn't MAGA and the Trump supporters terrorists the greatest threat this nation has ever had or has ever been faced with? No, we know better. This is also a blessing. Does this not show us yet again who the real liars are? The Make America Great Again crowd doesn't want to do that because that's hypocritical to making America great again. It's crazy to see these institutions, these individuals get away with even projecting on others what they themselves are doing, and there's just no accountability. Well, we have opportunity to make things right. And I hope and pray we seize the day, because my gosh, what a exciting time to live in. I mean, the truth is, our republic's dead. As of right now, it's dead. It died. Democracy, whatever, we're a republic, not a democracy, but also dead, died. It's clearly, show me the man, I'll show you the crime. It's clearly you're guilty, prove your innocence. There's just this crazy regime we can't allow to take over, because you would be insane, no matter what political leaning you may have in this moment, to feel safe and that you're untouchable, that they wouldn't come after you. But not to fear. Fear not. With the floodgates open, it's exposing all the rats. It's exposing the infrastructure, all of evil's little minions. A beautiful opportunity to save this great nation and bring back liberty, justice, freedom, and the power back in the hands of we the people. Let's dive into this smoking gun in even more depth than we've gone before. Buckle up. Right here out the gate, we're coming out swinging. This alone needs to be shared far and wide. The government incentivized the hospitals to kill we, the people, using our tax dollars for premeditated murder. And it was nothing shy than that. This gentleman does a very good job talking about it, exposing it. Let's give it a listen.
And what we did initially was a disaster. Frankly, from a legislative perspective, what we did was we actually incentivized murdering patients in hospitals. What we did was we said, if you go to the hospital and you get a positive COVID test, then the hospital gets more money. If you get put on remdesivir, the hospital gets more money. If you get put on a vent, the hospital gets more money. Right. If you die, the hospital gets more money. So incentivizing treating a patient to get better.
Right.
Instead of saying you get more money when this patient's healthy, we said you get more money when they die. What incentive for a hospital system is there to do anything different from that when the protocol's there? The medical boards and all of these groups, listen, frankly, it would take me 3 days to go through all the evidence that I have on corruption throughout the country on all of these guys. We've dealt with protecting doctors from just nonsensical attacks on their license around the country by medical boards whose board members were practicing doctors and nurses who made tons of money off of the existing COVID protocols. When people like Dr. Bartlett had protocols that worked much better. The medical boards have to be reined in a little bit, because what they did demonstrated
a lot of it,
that their interest was more in money than it was in protecting the lives of patients, in my opinion.
Not a lot of it. They need to be rebuilt. Got to rule out the corruption. Oh my gosh, this is horrific, and it was all backwards. Because it was incentivized to murder and kill, and doctors that actually had great treatment protocols, things that actually led to health and wellness, were ridiculed, were threatened, were fined. Some were suicided. The list is long, and we'll be making episodes that goes into those deep dives, and I'm sure some of you have connected those dots. Some of you have yet to connect those dots. It's okay. Just one step at a time. But a lot of the medical licensing for these doctors They faced ridicule and suspensions. But let's continue. Right here is a censored doctor during the pandemic confronting Fauci after being proven right about the vaccinations, the masks, the social distancing. Those who refused to follow the government's orders have been vindicated completely in light of the information that has come out. Give this a listen.
Why would the government, who's never treated a patient for COVID, you can read all the things you want, but you're not there. You're not seeing patients. You're not watching people die, intubating patients right there with that disease in your face, watching it happen, watching the development of this disease and actually learning from it. But I'm being told by bureaucrats what's right and wrong. And what's funny is everything I was censored on, I was proven to be right.
Right.
Pretty crazy, isn't it?
It's insane.
You said in an interview that you gave as part of an audiobook written by Michael Spector that you believed an institutional should make it hard for people to live their lives so they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
You think can be done about it? I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you are going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit.
Wow.
And they get vaccinated.
Wow.
Thank you. Are all objections to COVID vaccinations ideological bullshit, Dr. Fauci?
No, they're not, and
Thank
that's
you.
not what I was referring to.
Well,
Yeah, it was.
in reference to making it hard for people to get education, traveling, working, I'd say it very much was in context.
Right. It was.
And I take great offense to this. Miss Allison Williams testified before this committee about losing her job because she sought an exemption for ESPN's vaccine mandate, which came from recommendations from bureaucrats like yourself. She and her husband were actively working with a fertility expert, a physician, on how to get pregnant, and agreed with the premise that she was young, healthy, wanted to get pregnant, and shouldn't get the vaccination for medical purposes. But she was fired because you made it hard, just like you said in your statement, because you didn't want to make sure that the ideological bullshit got in the way of her working, living her life, of making a medical decision with her healthcare professional. I think America should take great offense to this. That's exactly what you meant when you said making it hard for people to live without getting a vaccination. You affected people's ability to work, travel, be educated, to actually flourish in American society, to self-determine, as we're all given God-given rights. Shame on you.
Wow.
Dr. Fauci, you've become Dr. Fear. Americans do not hate science. I don't hate science. The American people hate having their freedoms taken from them. You inspired and created fear through mass mandates, school closures, vaccine mandates that have destroyed the American people's trust in our public health institutions. This fear you created will continue to have ripple effects over generations to come. You have already seen its effects in education, in the economy, and everything else. Quite frankly, you said, if you disagree with me, you disagree with science. Dr. Fauci, I disagree with you because I disagree with fear. And with that, I yield.
What a POS is Fauci character, I tell you what. So this is a hearing that took place today that obviously is going viral. There's clips all over. And I believe we got a combination of pretty much the heavy hitting highlights and not out of context, just as you could see. And it's important for accountability. It's important to absorb the gravity of the very situation for numerous of reasons. But the reality of this rat, this evil character, he's just a pawn. He's a puppet. easily replaceable. It can start here with him, but we must ensure the whole structure and the ones behind everything also face proper accountability. Here's a couple doctors. I mean, do we remember the two right here in California who were suspended from social media for medical misinformation? Well, it turns out they were right all along, and it was the CDC, the WHO, the World Health Organization, the FDA, Fauci, and the media who were spreading medical misinformation. Mind you, to this day, already, this content, I pretty much guarantee maybe we should give it a whirl. But it would be the final strike, and Unmuzzled Chat would no longer exist on YouTube, boo-hoo. But to this day, I'd venture to say this episode would be wrapped up under what? Egregious medical misinformation. They're still fighting to keep this information from the masses. Why? And it's regarding our health. Everything. It is a smoking gun. It does expose everything. Can we see how dangerous? We got to allow people to be wrong. You can't tyrannically dictate and control information. These doctors, in the ways they were practicing medicine, would have led to saving lives. But they were limited on their outreach, on their social medias and everything due to this tyrannical control. It is beyond egregious and beyond extreme and wrong. I believe these social medias should also be held accountable. In fact, either dismantled or ran, being public spaces by we the people. 100%. With what social, isn't that something we should consider that? Social media. I mean, that could even be something on these mega platforms we vote people in to direct or run, or just set some simple checks and balances where it's just, I don't know. I'm not business brainiac, but what I know is we could never allow that type of tyranny with these platforms, with the mega media talking heads, to effectively run these type of psyops on the people and to their detriments ever again. Wow. Margie rips into Fauci like none other. Enjoy this clip.
Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci?
I am a scientist who uses the scientific method to gain information.
Yes or no?
No,
Yes
you
or no?
don't.
No, that's not a yes or no
Yes,
answer.
it's a yes or no.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, we'll take that as a you don't know what you represent. But this,
Right.
as director of the NIH, you did sign off on these so-called scientific
Disgusting.
experiments. And as a dog lover, I want to tell you this is disgusting
Right.
and evil, what
Right.
you signed off on. And these experiments that happened to beagles paid for by the American taxpayer.
Wow.
And I want you to know Americans don't pay their taxes for animals to be tortured like this.
Right.
So the type of science that you are representing, Mr. Fauci, is abhorrent.
Right.
You confess that you made up the COVID rules, including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made it
didn't
up as
say
you went.
I made it up.
So
Liar.
are you saying this is fake news, Mr.
I didn't
Fauci?
say I made anything up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
But this is science.
Wow.
And making up guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci?
It's
Because you're
abuse.
not doctor. You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. No, I don't need your answer. That man does not deserve to have a license As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in prison.
Suspend.
Yes.
Here you are without your mask, where you got to go and enjoy the game and sit right next to people not following the 6 feet of distancing, not wearing your mask, and everyone else was forced to stay home and stop enjoying life. And your science here, your science is displayed perfectly in this picture, where children in school were put in plastic bubbles because of your science. Your repulsive, evil science. And let's go back to your very own email. You said earlier you don't use email. Oh, you do. Right here. This is your own email where you said the typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out virus. I do not recommend that you wear a mask. This is your email. This is your own words. But yet children all over America were forced to wear masks. Healthy children forced to wear masks, muzzled in their schools. And then they were forced to learn from home because of your so-called science and your medical suggestions, while you and all your cronies get paid from Big Pharma.
Right.
You know that what this committee should be doing? We should be recommending you to be prosecuted. We should be writing a criminal referral because you should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. You belong in prison, Dr. Fauci.
Crimes against humanity. Yeah. I don't even want to see his freaking face, man. And the next clip. That's got him. Oh my gosh. Since everything's hinging on individual decision, like it's what it boils down to. We just want to focus on our, is it rude to say, our little lives without engaging in the proper levels it's going to take to rule out this type of tyranny? I mean, it's our choices ultimately. But if enough make the right choice and rule out the tyranny and all this corruption, it's going to be wild to look back. I mean, it's already wild enough to look back on what we allowed, the abuses we did put our children through. God forgive us for being weak and duped, fearful. Never again. I mean, gosh dang. It'd just be so cool. The more people make that choice, the quicker we turn things around, the quicker we can get back to just enjoying life. The fall of Fauci. COVID-19 is officially exposed as a U.S. government project. A virus engineered by U.S. scientists using a bio lab in China for cover. The biggest crime against humanity, killed more victims than the Nazi Holocaust against the Jews. Demand justice. We must demand justice. Here's more.
Your time is
Take your
expired.
Starbucks with you.
Mr. Garcia, Mr. Raskin, you're out of line. Your times have expired. I now
Get him.
recognize Dr. Jackson from Texas for 5 minutes of questions.
Get him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Fauci, I have to say, I, as so many Americans, am deeply disappointed in your actions during a critical time in our nation's history while you were in key leadership roles as the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease and as the chief medical advisor to President Biden. Put quite simply, you failed miserably, in my opinion. Based on all we have learned during the pandemic and all that we have since learned through this committee's work, I believe your failures stem from both an effort of self-preservation, manifested by a series of lies and cover-up, and by a total failure of leadership. It was obvious to everyone that you and your organization, NIH, had a lot to lose if the American people were to discover that COVID-19 was most likely leaked from a lab in Wuhan, China, and that you, via EcoHealth Alliance and Peter Daszak, actually funded this research, and that this lab was actively and recklessly conducting gain-of-function research. As such, you did everything in your power to deflect and cover up this possibility. You even recruited others to help you in this effort. Unfortunately, this cost our country and the world valuable time, time that may have led to answers regarding the origin may have blunted the spread and would have almost certainly saved lives.
100%.
Well, I think most of us have known all along what I just described. What I have been appalled to discover through sworn testimony to this committee is the level at which you and those that worked for you went to cover up the obvious. Just a few examples, and I know these have been touched on, but they're important for everyone to hear. Dr. Lawrence Tabak, former acting director of NIH, testified that under the...
He is incredibly nervous, and he should be. I like how he just did this motion, touching his neck, as though he can feel that noose cinching. Yeah. Given the gravity of the crimes against humanity, should make that a reality.
Generic definition that NIH did in fact fund gain-of-function research. This was based on a definition that was initially used by NIH and a definition that was abandoned and removed from the website in October of 2021 and replaced by a new, much more detailed definition with a much higher bar that you have since conveniently used to define gain-of-function testing and to deny what Dr. Tabak has since confirmed. He also said that EcoHealth Alliance failed to properly and promptly report that their research violated the terms of the grant, something that went completely unaddressed under your watch. Dr. Morans, your senior advisor, who you have tried today to distance yourself from, but whose large volume of emails clearly demonstrate that you had a very close and personal relationship with, and who reported to you directly, has openly bragged about how he subverted FOIA requests. I remind you that the law requires you and your former organization to comply with Freedom of Information Act requests. It is not optional. If you or your employees or your organization that you oversaw were systemically avoiding transparency and illegally hiding or destroying documents that rightfully belong to the American people, then you should be criminally charged, and they should as well. In addition, Dr. Gregory Folkers, your chief of staff, also engaged in illegal practices in which he crafted...
What? That's Ivan Raiklin, it seems. I recognize that face. What a stud. I mean, it's so wild. All the levels, like you choose. He has lied under oath on numerous occasions, like felony accounts. Yet our court systems are too busy, it seems, going illegally against political opponents. Like this just exposes everything.
Messages using symbols instead of letters to avoid FOIA exposure. In an email, April 2020, from Dr. Morans to Peter Daszak, he says, quote, "There are things I can't say." Well, I wonder what he couldn't say. He also went on to say, quote, "Except Tony is aware, and I have learned there are ongoing efforts within NIH to steer through this with minimal damage to you, Peter, and colleagues, and to NIH and NAID," end quote. And then a few days later, he said, quote, "I have reason to believe that there are already efforts going on to protect you," end quote. In February of 2021, Dr. Morans wrote to Boston University scientist Gerald Kirsch saying, quote, "I learned from our FOIA lady here how to make emails disappear after I'm FOIA'd, but before the search starts. So I think we are all safe," end quote. Dr. Fauci, I want to know what you were being protected from and what you needed to be safe from. I'm going to go on because I have a little time here. He went on to say, quote, "Plus, I deleted most of the earlier emails after sending to Gmail. Once again, illegal and an actual crime." Dr. Morans noted in another email to Dr. Kirsch saying, quote, I learned the tricks last year from an old friend, Marge Moore, who heads our FOIA office and also hates FOIAs," end quote. It is absolutely amazing to me that Dr. Morans and Marge Moore still have jobs and our taxpayers are still paying their salaries. Dr. Morans wrote to Dr. Daszak in April of 2021, quote, "P.S. I forgot to say there is no worry about FOIAs. I can either send stuff to Tony on his private email or hand it to him to work or at his house. He is too smart to let colleagues send him stuff that could cause trouble." End quote. Apparently, you neglected to surround yourself with equally smart individuals. Dr. Morans wrote to another collaborator, Peter Hotitz, in June 2021 at Baylor College of Medicine that he had deleted all his emails related to COVID origin when, quote, "the shit hit the fan," end quote. He said, quote, "I feel pretty sure Tony were too. The best way to avoid FOIA hassles is to delete all emails when you learn the subject is pretty sensitive." In October 2021, Dr. Morans wrote to Peter Daszak, Quote, Peter, from Tony's numerous recent comments to me and from what Francis has been vocal about over the past 5 years, we are trying to protect you, and they are protecting their own reputations as well, end quote. I'll just jump ahead. The American people can rest assured that we are going to continue to pursue answers, and we continue to push for full accountability from you and your colleagues despite continuing efforts to try to cover this up. Dr. Fauci, history will not be kind to you, and you will be known as the man who put his personal interest before the interest of the American people, the very people that you were supposed to be protecting. Your actions, along with several others we have had before this committee, have completely eroded America's trust in our public health system and the agency that you represented for half a century. With that, I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired, and now.
Wow. I know that was a lot, but all important. It's the largest crime against humanity. I mean, it's wild. Like, as this is going on, Hunter Biden is getting his jury, I guess, for his gun trial. What can we expect from that with all the levels of corruption? This is crazy. Oh, we're not done with Fauci yet. For those that are unaware, Jim Jordan got Fauci to admit that he approved the funding for the Wuhan lab in China that engineered COVID. Fauci lied and people died. How is he a free man?
Prior to that call would have been on the call. Well, the call was arranged by Jeremy Farrar. You should ask him. Okay. Did U.S. tax dollars flow through a grant recipient to the lab in China? I'm sorry, what was... Did U.S. tax dollars flow through a grant recipient to the lab in China? Yes, of course. It was a sub-award to the Wuhan Institute. And who approved that award?
Yes, of course.
Excuse me? And who approved that award? What agency approved that award? National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Your agency approved that, right? Yes, it did after... Did that have anything to do with this downplaying of the lab leak theory? No. Nothing to do with it? Nothing. What prior to that call would have been on the call? Well, the call was...
Wow. There it is. Can't make this stuff up, folks. No, Anthony Fauci is a truthful man. I almost threw up in my mouth that just even saying that. But just for some that don't believe him to be a liar, well, don't take my word for it. Listen to him. What a freaking circus.
First of all, I didn't recommend locking anything down. And the record will show, Neil, that we didn't recommend shutting everything down. I recommended to the president that we shut the country down. And that was a very difficult decision because I knew it would have serious economic consequences, which it did.
What a lying POS. A reminder that Fauci and Barack Hussein Obama lied to the entire country on national television by telling parents that COVID vaccines were tailored for kids, that they were safe and effective. Come after consenting adults, threaten their jobs, tyrannically rule, do all these horrific, evil things, but to manipulate and go after freaking children? Where are the real men in this country? Our republic truly is dead. It is time to revive that.
Thanks to the work of the Biden administration, Dr. Fauci, we already have millions of kids around the country who have gotten vaccinated, which means that if you're still thinking about it, get informed, talk to somebody you trust, your family doctor, your pediatrician, a school nurse, get more information about it. They'll tell you it's safe, it's effective. This vaccine is tailored for kids, and then come on down and find a spot to get vaccinated. You can get it for free just by going to vaccine.gov. It'll tell you exactly where you can go to get vaccinated, and make sure to do it, as you said, for your kids, your entire family, as well as for the community at large.
Unbelievable. Fact, the COVID death rate for kids 18 and under was way below 1%. They knew children were never at risk. And the impacts this bioweapon jab has had on everyone from any age is horrific, and the stats are only getting worse. Of course, they're not going to stop there. That's hence the importance of letting the floodgates reach everyone alive and well today. Doesn't stop there. They are now injecting cows with self-replicating nanotech. They want to feed contaminated beef to the human population to achieve their depopulation agenda. We clearly are living in a war zone that most people cannot comprehend, that they themselves are targeted for death. It's a challenge. I get it. It would be a lot harder to be fooled that you're not at war when a bullet whizzes by your head or it strikes someone next to you. But this is insane. If they can't vaccinate your arm, they'll vaccinate your food. And scientists are testing mRNA vaccines to protect cows and people from against the bird flu. Folks, we got to wake up. We got to put a stop to this. The unvaccinated were never a threat to society. They were a threat to authority. So true. Let's just go through more of what's going on in the world outside the realm of the pandemic. But you gotta understand the same individuals and institutions and corporations and media outlets and social media platforms and everything that were pushing the misinformation and the censorship on certain things. You got to understand they're doing the same tactics towards all these other things that are taking place on the world stage. So it becomes, it should tell you, if they couldn't be trusted regarding that information, doesn't it tell you all you need to know regarding these other things? Stu Peters here, I believe he uses some colorful language in this one, but he's not wrong. But speaks out on Ukraine. Give this a listen. I mean, mind you, Trump has spoken out many times that this wouldn't even have been a thing. This wouldn't have taken place. They didn't steal the election from him. And yes, they stole it. And the proof is overwhelming. I think I even have a slide in here that proves that once again as well. But give this a listen.
A lot of you may not know where this war in Ukraine came from. Well, here's a little history for you. Ukraine wasn't a country at all until after these arbitrary borders were set up after Lenin's revolution. Right. And then these borders were set up. Well, who settled in Ukraine? It was Russians, mostly ethnic Russians that just wanted to be Russia. They didn't know what Ukraine was. What the fuck is a Ukraine? They spoke Russian. They were Orthodox Christians. So you have this population of people in this new construct fake country called Ukraine, where half of the people hate Russia and half of the people love Russia. Then in 2014, our State Department and CIA decided to get involved because there was a democratically elected administration in Ukraine. That administration started to adopt pro-Russia policy. Our deep state, they couldn't have that because Vladimir Putin has to be a bad guy. Our CIA effected a violent coup in Ukraine. We set all that shit on fire, and then they installed this Vladimir Zelensky, who's like apparently some millionaire from Miami.
Wow. A lot of you. So all these wars, the same evil individuals, are behind causing all this world chaos. We got to put a stop to it. It becomes fairly easy to connect a lot of these dots. But it does make sense that in fact, Ukraine is a fake country arbitrarily set up by the Bolsheviks and currently run by the CIA as a money laundering scheme to fund Zionist black ops. It's insanity. All these videos, the Ukraine, whatever, military, army, literally just trying to steal men, their own citizens, to get them to fight. And they know it's just a death sentence. If an army or country has to go to these extreme measures to get enough people to fight, they've already lost. There's just so many of these clips coming out, and it's extremely sad to see. We got to back out of all of this. It's ruling out the corruption that is going to stop these endless wars that are just enriching. I just challenge you listeners to connect the dots for yourself. It starts to make sense as to why these things are taking place. And with more understanding, it just really ramps up the importance to ruling out the corruption. I mean, the sick ruling class. This is a former royal family security. Paul Page worked at Buckingham Palace for 6 years. And you could listen to him discuss Ghislaine Maxwell. She had run of the palace. What the frick is going on in the world where these royal families are dealing with freaking the pedophile ring? Why connect this dot here and now? Because I believe that these rulers, these elite, private, whatever groups, I believe their perversions, their evil rituals are in fact what's going to be their downfall. If we actually do our due diligence and care enough and choose to make things right, that these networks are what are going to lead to us effectively cleaning things up. Give this a listen.
What about Ghislaine Maxwell? Was she ever there?
All the time. She was, well, so all the time. I've already publicly said that she had the sort of the run of the palace. You know, she was in and out very frequently.
Why?
To the point where we actually thought they were in some form of relationship. No one else had the sort of access to the palace as she did, and that's what gave us the impression that there was a relationship going on. We were just told to wave her through and not sort of get involved when she was coming into the palace. So,
but it's strange though. Again, she's just been done for trafficking. Like how these people are all connected with it. Like
I just think the issue you've got with Prince Andrew, what he's got is 6 or 7 of his closest friends are convicted sex offenders, you know? I mean, one individual that say you know and suddenly you found out was in it, but half a dozen, that's, you know what I mean? What the fuck's going on?
What about Ghislaine Maxwell? Was she ever there?
All the time. She was, well, so all the time. I've already publicly...
Like I said, I believe their perversions to gonna be what leads to their downfall and the whole corrupt infrastructure as well. I mean, through the smoking gun and the pandemic, we can connect the dots from there, and then it shifts into these other corrupt groups and societies. Like, well, it's crazy to me that we've seen all of this throughout history and biblical even, yet we just entirely like ruled it out as though it wasn't going on today. And for decades, we've seen it projected through Hollywood and all, even the political stages and symbolisms and so many things. And yet we just turn a blind eye. And they've just gotten bolder and bolder throughout the years. And we can't sweep this under the rug. I mean, this is a freaking former royal family security guard, worked at Buckingham Palace for 6 freaking years. That's a powerful testimony right there. Let's get to the bottom of all that. We cannot have this type of evil at the top of our societal, whatever you want to call it. I mean, some people worship these families. Think they're these amazing, beautiful people. It's wild. I mean, we ought not lie to ourselves. It doesn't take any freaking rocket scientist here, folks. Convicted pedophiles such as Epstein and Maxwell and the trafficking they did of little children and all the connections they've had here on U.S. soil and abroad. That is to be taken as serious as it gets. We clearly cannot blindly entrust any of our 3-letter agencies that they will get things taken care of, handled accordingly. We either need to handle things transparently ourselves, we the people. Let's just handle it. Let's just freaking handle business. We can include special ops teams that report to us or the right infrastructure. Obviously, our women and children don't necessarily, we are to protect them. So a lot of them could be on a needs to know basis, but at the end of the day, they must feel safe. And if I was a woman or a child anywhere in the world today, I would not feel safe. So what does that mean for us men? Us men in the world are failing our one and only job as men. Epically failing. You may be able to say you're not on an individual level. I want to say that's good, but it's kind of like that's cute, because child sex trafficking in this country alone, it seems it's worse than it's ever been. Slavery in this country is worse than it's ever been. So it's time we onboard a little more responsibility as men and handle business. I mean, think about it just for a second while we're on this topic. Why is the Alphabet Mafia being blasted from all the same things and sources that pushed COVID? And see, this is where it all ties in. The smoking gun pandemic exposes all the media, blah, 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 everything that's pushing wokeness, and you can connect to the Soros and the Gates and the Klaus Schwab World Economic Forum and all the corrupt individuals. It's all the same network. It's what we're trying to get at. And then to expose the evil side of it. Holy moly, to light the fire. Why is less than 2% of the population getting, the star roles and the mega commercials and everything on Netflix and Prime and Disney? They're literally trying to rewrite history. Is it starting to click? Is it starting to make sense? Is to these people in positions of power that have money we can't even fathom, that own BlackRock and institutions and corporations and businesses, that they've been buying up everything, are pushing this pedophilic, toxic ideology all the way down to our children, trying to normalize pedophilia, which they've been successful in huge ways right here in the country. We played a clip the other day about officers in California where they're not even charging or bringing in freaking pedophiles, that they're just write reports, that their DAs or whatever, they're not going to do anything about it. What in the frick? So all these things aren't coincidentally happening on like our public levels. It's intentionally coming down, let's just say, from not above, from the top, if you will. It's just being strategically done. But I want you to understand, they are not better than you or I in any way, shape, or form. They are no more valuable. They only have the power we allow them to have. That's it. Yeah, okay, sure. Their family names may have acquired wealth or corporations and things, but that's not power. That's just things. Is there money? Yes, their money could protect them to an extent, but not against all the people. They are not untouchable. I'm just getting fired up, man. Let's go. But we must stop no more. Let's not allow them to manipulate us anymore. Dang. I'm really kicking myself here, folks, because I'm feeling my limitations today. I'm not going to lie. And it's really frustrating me because these are very important, profound things to connect the dots on so clearly that there is no doubt. But I guess to an extent, I like feel like that's my job, but it isn't. Because the reality of it is, I could have it the most impactful mankind could do. And yes, it might influence them, but it doesn't mean it's going to influence everyone. What it boils down to is people must do their own research. They must seek truth for themselves. And as you can see, we clearly cannot afford not to. Oh my gosh, it is time. Let's freaking go. Another thing to just reflect on and let sink in. Never forget that the FBI was in control of Hunter Biden's laptop while Trump was being impeached. Just more corruption. This gal nails it. And this other lady titled it, she just summed up Biden's entire life in less than 60 seconds. Give this a listen.
When you have a man who showers with his daughter and enjoys sniffing children, who also has a crackhead son who slept with his dead brother's wife and her sister while simultaneously impregnating a stripper, you may think you're watching the Jerry Springer show, but this is actually the people who are running our country.
Wow. It's freaking disgusting. Are we ready yet? Are we ready to take more action? Are we ready to seize the day? This is unbelievable. Joe Biden himself threatening us. Give it a listen. I love how it starts. This man. Wake up.
Oh, hey. Good morning. Y'all awake? Listen to the man.
We're working 24/7. Here in Florida and throughout the Southwest, Southeast, and in Maui, in Hawaii. I want to reiterate that appreciation today. I also convened my entire cabinet as part of a whole of government response. And that response is to increase the number and intensity of the extreme weather events and be wary we're going to use all the resources available to the government to do.
Oh, hey. Good morning.
What? Y'all awake? Holy smokes. Quote, is to increase the number and intensity of the extreme weather events. We played yesterday the clip of him talking about the blue roofs. Am I making a mistake? Should I just keep this to the smoking gun? Keep it more small bite-sized chunks? Is this all becoming too much? My intent and hope is that it ramps up the importance that we don't have time to mess around here, folks. We got to take this deadly serious. I like this one. This is not going away. Pass it on. Attention, Congress. Start the subpoenas. Acting Judge Juan Merchan's daughter, Lauren Merchan, was wired up to $93 million in donations from the Democratic Party during the Trump trial. Over $1 million from Rep. Hakeem Jeffries of New York and Rep. Adam Schiff. Governor Whitmer of Michigan's PAC wired $5,000 to Lauren. The posting states, repost if you'd like to see this corrupt judge and daughter duo charged with election tampering and fast-tracked to prison for life. Yes, right away, please. Let's get on that right now. Could you imagine? There'd already be shackles thrown around if some Republicans were doing this, right? Let's go. Now, this is not just an important message for actual Americans, but the invaders in this country. Here we go.
Good morning. I'm Rosemary Jenks with the Immigration Accountability Project. As Senator Lee said, we estimate that there are upwards of 30 million non-citizens, so foreign-born who have not naturalized and are therefore ineligible to vote under our laws. The problem that we have now is that the Biden administration, there's a Biden executive order that orders all federal agencies to provide voter registration information to everyone they come in contact with. We also know that state election officials are not permitted to ask for proof of citizenship for applicants who fill out the federal form. So if you're a non-citizen in this country, whether you're an asylum seeker or a foreign student or whatever, if a government official hands you a voter registration form, you're going to think that you need to fill it out. Then you are going to be unlawfully registered to vote. If you vote, it is a deportable criminal offense. So I want to just do a little public service announcement here and say, if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, you are ineligible to vote. And if you vote, you are committing a criminal deportable offense. We need to pass the SAVE Act and secure our elections. Thank you.
Yes, we do. We got to show up. There's a lot more engagement we need to do leading into this election. I challenge all of Unmuzzled Chat listeners to plug in on local levels to ensure no shenanigans. We got this. Come on. Joe Rogan in his glory, using his colorful language, hitting a pretty solid point home about the farmers. It's real powerful, worth giving a listen.
They're the people that grow your food, goddammit. Wake up. Wake up to why anybody would do that. What fucking government would fuck with the farmers?
Right.
What government would make it harder on the farmers? You're telling me that that's your number one problem is the farmers?
Right.
How much crime do you have? How many murders? How many thieves? How many rapists? How many child molesters? How many swindlers? How many people that are ripping people off? How many credit card fraudsters do you have out there? And you're going after farmers? There's no way that's positive.
Right. We know why that's happening. We understand we're infiltrated. We've already gone over the smoking gun. We're just trying to expose, like, wow, okay. So now it's bringing light to all. And we're not even covering everything. There's so much more they're involved in to our detriment to negatively impact us. There's so much more. But we can't integrate it all into one episode. We're just trying to cover enough of the information to bring to light that fire under all of us, as we've said ad nauseum. Well, here it is. Beyond a shadow of doubt, Trump is the legitimate president of 2020. We'll just add the link. It just shows the fraud. More fraud. Oh, golly. Now, let's shift into what I view a win. Rapists will be surgically castrated, and anyone who rapes a child will face the death penalty under new laws in Nigerian state. I view that as a win. In fact, if we adopt that and bring that here, imagine there's only going to be so many castrations and death penalties. And can you imagine? Biblically, it's made clear. We're not to tolerate that. I believe we should onboard this 100%. Now, this says breaking. Klaus Schwab is facing the death penalty for crimes against humanity as preparations are underway. Nuremberg 2.0, according to the ICC Insider, with Benjamin Nahu. I can't even say. Merely the first in the long line. Let's hope the globalists finally face justice. Wow. Penalty for crimes against humanity. Okay, this is a really powerful video. You might just gotta click on this one and see it for yourself. States, you'll never see the world the same after watching this 20-second video.
The fleas are placed inside the jar.
It has another picture of a classroom where people are placed inside the classroom. So it's doing this comparison.
They are left undisturbed for 3 days.
12 years. Indoctrinated schooling.
Then, when the jar is opened, the fleas will not jump out. In fact, the fleas will never jump higher than the level set by the lid. Their behaviour is now set for the rest of their lives.
Wow. Escape the circus, it states. It's pretty powerful. There's been a lot of studies on humans for war tactics, all sorts of things to have these type of outcomes. We truly haven't been free in our own minds. And it is time to break out of the box. Okay. Listeners, forgive me. I'm really struggling, like assembling my thoughts and adding my inputs and everything regarding the information we've gone over today. I sure hope I've gathered enough that just speaks for itself and that I didn't botch it and distract too much with my own defects. But we're not to fear. So with that being said, all my defects, folks, I just want to direct you to the roadmap that won't lead you astray, that will not let you down, that will give you the tools necessary and the strength and the clarity and the peace and the motivation, which is none other than the Bible itself. In the Bible, it is crystal clear that God asks us to fight against evil. And there are many verses in here that highlight just this. I mean, you could look into Ephesians 6:12 through 13, Timothy 6:12 through 15, 2 Timothy 2:1 through 4. I mean, the Bible teaches us to fight against evil because it's a spiritual reality that affects our lives and the world around us. Evil is a powerful force that seeks to destroy God's creation and his people. By fighting against evil, we are not only protecting ourselves, but fighting for what is right and just. I mean, some of the ways the Bible goes over for us to effectively fight evil is putting on the full armor of God. We must stand firm in our faith and not be swayed by temptations and the attacks of evil. Pray. Prayer is a powerful weapon against evil. We must pray for strength, guidance, and protection. And love. Love is a key component to fighting against evil. As challenging as it may seem, and it in fact is, we must love our enemies and show kindness to those that persecute us. Easier said than done. I just hope and pray that you'll dive in and you'll seek the relation and the answers and ask the questions for yourself thoroughly. I could testify as I have before. It's been the greatest singular blessing I've had in my entire life. And it's just something you got to experience and for yourself, I suppose, to understand. And it's your choice. Okay, last clip here. It's labeled "Liberals Loved Him Until They Found Out He Was a Loyal Patriot Who Hunted Pedophiles and Traffickers." And that liberals want this video off of the web and Facebook. So it's calling patriots to make it go viral. But it's a pretty powerful clip.
To me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, I just probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings and we're not.
Mr. Trump, you've done great things in your life, and I just wonder, how do I, as an average person, begin?
Well, first of all, never think of yourself as average. You started off with the wrong question, because you're not
average. You've got a lot going. I see you're smart. I see you're very beautiful. And you're right against Erin. Look how beautiful she is. But, you know, I don't see any difference. You have to tell yourself that you just have to get that word average out of your vocabulary. And you have to tell yourself that you're great. And you have to believe it. If you can say it and don't believe it, it doesn't matter. So just go out there and work hard.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone into losing in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined. I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience is, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing. This country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been. Believe it.
Thanks to you. We'll have a president of the United States who will make appointments to the highest court in the land that will uphold the sanctity of life, our Second Amendment, and all the God-given liberties enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. Thanks to you. With your votes, the great citizens of this country declared to the world that from now on, it's going to be America first. America first. The script is not yet written. We do not know what the page will read tomorrow. But for the first time in a long time, what we do know is that the pages will be authored by each and every one of you. You, the incredible American people, will be in charge. Your voice, your desires, your hopes, your aspirations will never again fall on deaf ears. The forgotten men and women, by the way, they're not so forgotten anymore, are they? There is nothing we cannot do. No task is too great, no dream too large, no goal beyond our reach. My message tonight is for all Americans, from all parties, all beliefs, all races, all walks of life. Whether you are African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, we are all Americans, and we are all united by one shared destiny. So I'm asking everyone to join this incredible movement. I'm asking you to dream big again, dream big and bold and daring. For your families, for yourself, for your country. Big and bold and daring. I'm asking you to believe in yourself, and I'm asking you to believe once again in America. Your voice, your hopes, and your dreams will define our American destiny. And your courage and goodness and love will forever guide us along the way. Together, we will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Donald Trump, we solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
Now that man is not perfect. Neither are you. Neither am I. But just like Kennedy, just like so many that have stood up for good and challenged the corruption, just look at the attacks. Becomes so clear, right? Let's jump in the daily devotional and wrap things up. So we are June 3rd. I want to be central in your entire being. When your focus is firmly on me, my peace displaces fear and worries. They will encircle you, seeking entrance so you may stay alert. Let trust and thankfulness stand guard, turning back fear before it can gain a foothold. There is no fear in my love, which shines on you continually. Sit quietly in my love light while I bless you with radiant peace. Turn your whole being to trusting me and loving me. Can't go wrong. We got two scripture references. Thessalonians 3:16. Now may the Lord of peace himself give you his peace at all times. And in every situation, the Lord be with you all. And we got 1 John 4:18. Now for context, let's just jump up a bit where it states, God is love, and all who live in love live in God, and God lives in them. And as we live in God, our love grows more perfect. So we will not be afraid on the day of judgment, but we can face him with confidence because we live like Jesus here in this world. Such love has no fear, because perfect love expels all fear. If we are afraid, it is for fear of punishment, and this shows that we have not fully experienced his perfect love. It's so true. It's hard to grasp in this mortal state, but this verse 19 is very powerful in and of itself too. States we love each other because he loved us first. It's kind of a mind blower moment, right? Oh my gosh. I'm grateful yet again for this moment. The Bible just has that effect. It's freaking awesome. I appreciate you letting me share those things to my benefit. Thank you. So we have some other exciting news. Our partner, our friend, our sponsor, Black Eagle Apparel, actually just got a Unmuzzled Chat shirt posted on the webpage. Let's pull it up. And it's even at a discounted price, folks. It's such an awesome shirt. Check the links below. Go to Black Eagle Apparel. Look what just popped up. They still have the spin the wheel option. You could get up to 40% off this apparel. It's the same quality tee I am wearing right here. Best darn tees on the market. And I must say, that shirt looks pretty darn good. Looks like it's available from small to all the way up to XXXX large. And you got military green, black, red, royal blue, indigo, gray, and navy. If you've gotten any value from Unmuzzled Chat thus far, we'd be ever so grateful if you would go to Black Eagle Apparel and support us by getting yourself a shirt and represent proudly. The QR code on the shirt actually should go to our Rumble account, so you could promote and get people on these free speech platforms, and it actually ends up kind of a call to action that could lead people to getting better sourcing on their information. That is exactly what we need more of to fix things right here in this great nation, America we live in. So what are you waiting for? For the first time ever, you could be rocking Unmuzzled Chat t-shirt. Black Eagle Apparel. Get yours right now. Let's go and embody being unmuzzled. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Can't wait till next time. God bless you and take care.